I'll touch upon how Muslim rule came about in Kashmir. Now, the first Muslim attacks, started in 8th century CE, and under the leadership of Muhammad bin Qasim. But these attempts failed. And after that, it took 6 centuries after Kashmir finally had its first Muslim ruler. So for 6 centuries, the Muslims tried to invade Kashmir, but they were kept at bay. After the Arabs, the Ghaznavids attacked Kashmir. Muhammad of Ghazni defeated Raja Jaipal in 1002 CE, who was the ruler of Hind near present-day Peshawar, but was unsuccessful in conquering Kashmir. And after that, about 300 years of relative peace followed. In 1320, actually, Zulju, a Mongol chieftain, invaded Kashmir, and the king at that time, Suhadeva, in 14th century, early 14th century, he was the last of the Lohara dynasty kings, a poor ruler who couldn't actually rule his kingdom, and accordingly, when the attack took place, he fled. And there was a Ladakhi employee of his prime minister, Rinchana, who, seeing the opportunity, murdered the prime minister and grabbed the throne. This Rinchana then converted to Islam and became Sultan Sarauddin Shah in 1320 CE, who was the first Muslim ruler of Kashmir. So if you see, from the first king of Kashmir in 3450 BC, 136 Hindu Buddhist kings have ruled for about 4,770 years. They ruled over Kashmir before it got its first Muslim ruler. So nowadays, the narrative that Kashmir is a Muslim country and always has been is actually needs to be seen in this is, as I mentioned, there are a lot of beautiful gardens in Kashmir. This is the Nishad Bagh in Srinagar, built in 1633 during the Mughal period. When we talk about any of our ancient history, I like to mention about the historicity of events, because you'll always see in different texts and different books, the dating of various events changes. People quote different dates for a particular event in different places. So a bit about the background to this. Now, it is said that ancient Indians had no sense of history and chronology. This is the general perception. And Al-Biruni was the first to remark that the Hindus do not pay much attention to the historical order of things. In his work Tarikh-e-Hind in 1030 CE. What is surprising is that when he wrote his book, he sourced his genealogies of the kings from Puranic records, and after using these and mentioning them as historical facts, he disputed the same source as being unhistorical. So that is how the hypocrisy started from that time. Now, a European scholar, James Todd, has pointed out actually, which I'll quote, those who accept from a people like the Hindus a species of composition of precisely the same character as the historical works of Greece and Rome commit the very egregious error of overlooking the peculiarity of which distinguish the native of India from all other races, and their intellectual productions of every kind. Their history, like their philosophy, their poetry, and their architecture, are marked with traits of originality. And even Herodotus, who is known as the father of Western history, has been described as a great artist and storyteller. So, old historians, ancient historians in any part of the world have always mixed history with myths and legends. And it was important that how the artistic presentation of the truth was done than being more accurate about the scientific history of a period. So this was a common phenomena across all ancient histories from all parts of the world. Now, if you see the Indian Indologists in the recent times have now started pushing back against distortions of Indian history. And the so-called Indologists with Christian beliefs during the colonial era were reluctant to acknowledge that Indian chronology is much more ancient than the religious hoary revelations. And they adjusted the Bharatiya chronology to their preset timelines rather than accepting evident facts. So this is one of the major reasons why all our dates have been falsified in trying to fit in within the Western Christian teachings. And whatever they couldn't fit in within their time frame, they just declared these texts were myths and did not simply exist. So that is their how they distorted the whole Indian ancient historical dates.